So good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be talking about the non-prostaglandin analogs first-line treatment in the management of primary open-angle glaucoma. We know that prostaglandin analogs are associated with ocular and cosmetic side effects, which could be bothersome to some patients. And when you discuss with them, they might not choose them as the first-line management because of the same reason, and especially so in a unilateral glaucoma. Prostaglandin analogs are also known to be associated with ocular allergies, especially drugs like bimatoprost, and hence they should not be used as a first-line management, preferably in patients who are giving history of ocular allergy or ocular surface disorder. Cost will continue to be an issue in our country where drugs like timolol continue to be the cheapest and PGA is one of the costliest, as has already been highlighted with the previous speaker. And we also know that affordability goes hand in hand with compliance. So sometimes it could be the reason that cheaper alternatives like timolol could be the only affordable alternative. Targeted intraocular pressure is an important consideration while deciding the initial drug. And if initially what we want is maybe just 15 to 20 or maybe 25% reduction from the baseline, then any of one of these group of drugs can be used effectively, prudently to decrease the intraocular pressure starting as a first line management instead of going for a PG analog, which can give you much more decrease in the intraocular pressure. So that will depend on the individual risk profile, what you decide. Now, if a POG patient becomes pregnant, then the only safe drug is brimonidine, all the other drugs being category C, where the adverse effects are reported in animal studies. On top of that, the PGA are oxytocic, can cause abortion and premature labor, and hence should be avoided during pregnancy, during which time brimonidine as in the first trimester. Second trimester, a beta blocker or a carbonic anhydrase inhibitor can be added. Third trimester, you can continue everything, except in the later stage where brimonidine has the potency of suppressing the central nervous system in the newborns. So that should be avoided. So just in passing, I'll touch the fact that the PGA analogs have not been found to be as efficacious in pediatric age group. And so topical beta blockers and carbonic anhydrase continue to be the first and second line management here. Various case reports have shown recurrence and reactivation of herpes simplex virus disease after prostaglandin analog use, and hence POG patients with herpetic eye disease, this is a definite contraindication. PGAs are also known to mediate inflammation and causing blood-aqueous barrier breakdown, and case reports have shown an increase in the IOP and recurrence of inflammation in acute uveitis. And so, again, PG analogs in POG patients with acute uveitis is a contraindication, as also in cystoid macular edema. At least PG analogs should not be given as a first-line management in patients who give history of CME in the other eye following an uneven full intraocular surgery, or this eye has undergone an even full intraocular surgery where there could be a tendency of patients suffering from cystoid macular edema. So all these case scenarios that we have discussed about here, any one of these group of drugs can be given as a first line depending on the individual risk profile. The most important cause of post-op inflammation, failure is post-operative inflammation, where we don't want to use a pro-inflammatory drug like a PG analog, where a ROCK inhibitor, because by suppressing the TGF-beta, which is a cytokine, it regulates the post-surgical wound healing, should be the first line of treatment, as also to decrease the post-op intraocular pressure immediately after trabeculectomy, because again, we don't want to use a pro-inflammatory drug like a prostaglandin here, even a active suppressant like a beta blocker. Now, the POG patients are known to be steroid responders, and if they are experiencing this because of a topical or a systemic use, again, a ROCK inhibitor, which acts at the level of exactly their mechanism of action is antithesis of how steroids bring about the increase in the intraocular pressure, so that should be the first choice. ROCK inhibitors are again known to maintain consistent IOP reduction throughout 24-hour period, which is not dependent on the baseline IOP. So POG patients with lower baseline intraocular pressure, especially NTG patients, which is a variant of POG, first line drug should be a ROCK inhibitor like a natarcil. ROCK inhibitors have also been found to be endothelial friendly, helping in regeneration. Studies have shown to...
Dr. Jyoti, your time is up. Can you please conclude?
So in patients with compromised endothelium, of POG patients, ROCK inhibitor should be the first line management. Thank you.